Understanding the Stanford Prison Experiment, unveiling the power of authority. In 1971, a groundbreaking study known as the Stanford Prison Experiment delved into the psychological impact of perceived power and authority. Let's unravel the key findings and their implications. The experiment, led by psychologist Philip Zimbardo, simulated a prison environment. Participants were randomly assigned roles as either guards or prisoners, but things quickly spiraled out of control. The guards, with no prior training, began exhibiting authoritarian behavior. This can be explained by the Stanford Prison Experiment syndrome, where individuals conform to perceived roles, leading to abusive behavior. The prisoners, on the other hand, experienced extreme stress and emotional breakdowns. This highlights the psychological concept of de-individuation, where individuals lose their sense of identity in a group, making them more susceptible to mistreatment. Impact of authority. Zimbardo's study emphasized the potent influence of authority figures. Guards, given power, started to abuse it, showcasing the power corrupts phenomenon that psychology warns us about. Unexpected outcome. Zimbardo's study emphasized the potent influence of authority figures. Guards, given power, started to abuse it, showcasing the power corrupts phenomenon that psychology warns us about. The Stanford Prison Experiment is a stark reminder of how easily individuals can succumb to roles and authority. It challenges us to reflect on the ethical implications of power dynamics and the importance of understanding the psychological toll it can take on both those in power and those subject to it. Ethical concerns. Critics argue that the Stanford Prison Experiment raised significant ethical issues. The participants endured severe emotional distress, and the study was not terminated promptly when signs of distress became evident, questioning the well-being of the participants. Lack of informed consent. The participants were not fully aware of the potential psychological harm they could face. Informed consent is a cornerstone of ethical research, and the lack of it in this study has been a major criticism. Researcher influence. Zimbardo's active involvement as the prison superintendent might have influenced the participants and escalated the situation. Critics argue that his role blurred the line between researcher and participant, potentially impacting the authenticity of the results. Demand characteristics. Participants may have adjusted their behavior based on perceived expectations, known as demand characteristics. The intense scrutiny and observation could have led to participants acting in ways they believed the researchers wanted them to act. Sample bias. The sample size in the Stanford Prison Experiment was small, and the participants were not a diverse group. Critics argue that this limits the generalizability of the findings to broader populations. Debriefing issues. Some argue that the debriefing process after the study was insufficient. Participants were not adequately informed about the nature of the experiment and the reasons behind certain events, potentially leaving them with lasting psychological effects. Cultural bias. The study was conducted in a specific cultural context, and critics question the applicability of its findings to other cultural settings. Cultural variations in responses to authority and power dynamics may not be adequately addressed.